Hello all, in today's video I'm going to talk about black fungus. So is it a new disease? No, the black fungus cases have been reported before COVID also, but the number of cases reported was very less. Actually, these kind of serious fungal infections are very rare when compared to the bacterial and viral infections. We usually see superficial fungal infections like ring-like itchy lesions, especially in the private parts, then whitish patch over the tongue, whitish vaginal discharge in females. All these are common fungal infections, but they are not serious. Serious kind of fungal infections like fungal sepsis or fungal infections affecting the internal organs, they are very rare, but in the midst of COVID-19, especially the second strain, more than usual number of black fungus diseases are being reported. So what is a black fungus? The name black fungus is a misnomer because black fungus is not a black colored fungus. The actual name of the fungus is mucor, and the disease caused by mucor is known as mucormycosis. Then why it's called as black fungus? Because it damages the blood vessels and it produces tissue necrosis, and this necrosed tissue appears as black. That's why it's called as black fungus. Now, how do we get this disease, or who are at risk of getting this disease? This fungus is normally seen everywhere, like in the soil, in water, in cold, damp conditions, and we usually see soft, fluffy things on rotten vegetables and fruits, on bread. That is a fungus. And this fungus doesn't have the capacity to attack a normal, healthy human being. Then when do they attack? When we become weak or when our immunity is low, this fungus gets a chance to attack our body and produce serious fungal infections. So decreased immunity is the main factor for developing this mucormycosis. So in the current situation, the most important disease which decreases our immunity is COVID-19, especially the second strain. So serious sick COVID-19 patients who are admitted in ICU with severe pneumonia requiring oxygen, the wonder drug we should say, the drug which saves the life of this sick patient is the steroid. So steroids are the life-saving medications for the sick patients, but the problem of giving steroid is it reduces the immunity. Added on that, the patient is having uncontrolled diabetes. So these three factors, that is COVID-19 patients on steroids with uncontrolled diabetes, these are the main factors for developing mucormycosis. So currently only COVID-19 patients develop mucormycosis. So some COVID-19 patients with mild symptoms who are treated at home, who are not given steroids, also develop mucormycosis even after 1 to 1.5 months of recovery. So the thing which was detected in common in all these patients was uncontrolled diabetes. So uncontrolled diabetes is the main risk factor for developing mucormycosis in COVID-19 patients than steroids. Now there are other factors which decrease our immunity, like patient on long-term steroids or other immunosuppressive drugs for certain diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, SLE, nephrotic syndrome, people on organ transplants, then cancer patients on chemotherapy, HIV patients, people with immunodeficiency diseases, then patients on prolonged IV antibiotics for certain serious bacterial infections like meningitis. All these are factors which decrease our immunity. So if the COVID patient is having any of these risk factors, they are more prone for developing mucormycosis. Now, how does this fungus enter our body? There are two routes of entry. One is through inhalation, like as in the case of COVID-19. Other is if the patient is having any cuts or wounds over the skin, this fungus can directly enter the body through this cuts or wounds. So these are the two routes of entry. And one important thing is there is no human-to-human transmission. This fungus cannot be transmitted from one person to another. Now, what are the symptoms of this disease? At first, it attacks the organs like nose, ears, eyes, mouth, etc. So the earliest clinical features will be one side eye congestion with proptosis, that is bulging out of eyes, lid edema, severe headache not relieved with usual analgesics, double vision, blurring of vision, then severe facial pain at the level of sinus, facial numbness, then mucoid discharge from the nose, like bloody or blackish or brownish discharge from the nose, nasal block, foul smell from the nose, then black patch over the face, over eyelid, inside the mouth, inside the nose, palate. All these are the earliest clinical features, and this fungal infection is very aggressive. This fungus can even erode the bone. It can erode the bony separation between the face and the skull and can directly enter the brain, producing seizures, loss of consciousness, repeated vomiting, and can affect the lung, producing severe cough with hemolysis, that is blood in sputum. And finally, it can reach the whole part of the body through blood, producing a very serious condition known as disseminated mucormycosis, and the death rate is around 50 to 80%. So if you see any of these earliest clinical features, you have to consult the doctor. And the diagnosis is made by taking biopsy from that lesion or from taking scans like CT or MRI of brain or lung. So the treatment is, there is a definite drug for this mucormycosis, that is liposomal amphotericin B. It's a very safe and effective drug, but the problem is it's very costly, it's not widely available, and it has to be given as injection for 1 month. So we should admit the patient in hospital for giving this injection for 1 month, and after 1 month we can switch to oral drugs, but we should give this oral drugs for a minimum period of 3 months. So the duration of treatment is very long. Sometimes this medical treatment alone cannot cure the disease. We have to do the surgical treatment as well, like removing one part of the face, removing one eye, removing part of brain, like that. So the treatment is very challenging. Sometimes we don't get consent from patient for removing his eye. Even after getting consent, sometimes patient may not be fit for surgery because of his bad lung condition. And even after surgery, these patients have to live for months with that weird appearance. So the mental trauma he or she suffers is humongous. So the best thing is trying to prevent getting black fungus disease than treating it. So how do you prevent this disease? We don't have to be scared of this fungus, because the main culprit is hiding behind this little fungus, that is uncontrolled diabetes and other factors which decrease our immunity. So you should control your blood sugar levels within normal limits. A strict diet control and regular exercise should be followed, and if the blood sugar levels are not controlled with these lifestyle modifications, you must start anti-diabetic drugs or insulin as per doctor's advice, and a regular follow-up and regular health checkup should be done. And post-COVID patients, especially diabetic patients, you should be very careful for first 6 to 8 weeks after recovery. Avoid going to dirty and damp conditions like dirty soil and water, and if you're going, wear a protective covering like gloves and long boots, and you should clean the things you are using like steaming machine, then spacer of the inhalers if you are using, nebulization mask. All these things should be cleaned regularly. And the last but not the least is mask cleanliness. You should wear a clean, fresh and dry mask every day. Don't wear the same mask for many days, and don't wear a wet mask. So we should wear the mask properly and we should care the mask properly. So these are the things I want to share with you today. Thank you.